Hello and welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. We are back at the mountain today for Daily Race C yet again. And it is safe to say that I'm really enjoying this race. For those of you that are new or unaware of the parameters of this race, we have sports cars on sports medium tyres with ×1 fuel and tyre wear. In this video, I'm using the Lexus LFA. This week, there has been two standout cars, the BMW M3 and the Lexus that I'm currently in. There isn't much difference between them. It kind of just suits different people's driving styles and to which ones they prefer. Thank you everyone for supporting the latest GT7 video. The feedback and response was actually very overwhelming and I honestly didn't expect it. So a massive thank you from you guys. So if you could all do me a massive favor, pause the video right now. Drop an emoji in the comments. It would be very much appreciated as you would have no idea how much it helps me out and it pushes this video out into the YouTube algorithm so we can meet new people and start growing a little family/community here over on YouTube. And of course, if you haven't already, please hit the big red subscribe button and join me on my GT7/sim racing journey. As always, if you would like to catch these races live, there is a link to my Twitch channel in the description below and also in the comments. So as you can see now, we are just coming into Sector 2 onto the first lap of this race, and P4 and P5 have a bit of contact here and actually both touched the wall, with P4 picking up a 1.5 second penalty. This will allow me to get past both of them and slip up into that P4 position and allow me to chase after the guys at the front. As you can see, there is currently a 1.1 second gap for me to catch up with, and we need to drive smooth and consistently and be smart about how we're going to go about this race. One thing I have noticed this week with this race is how much this combo promotes close racing. Even though it's a 7-lap sprint, if you want to call it, it's still quite a long race. With there being only ×1 fuel and tyre wear, there's no strategy involved. It is just down to you and your opponents and your driving. You make a mistake, you touch a barrier, you get a penalty, you can lose multiple positions. As you will see throughout this video, the top 5 or 6 are separated by no more than 2 seconds throughout the whole entire race. And it really does create some awesome, intense racing for you guys to watch and for me to create. As we head on to lap 2 now, you'll see that the Lexus LFA has given us a nice little bump draft, pushing us along the straight, giving us a bit more overspeed in order for us to catch the top 3. As you can see here, we are literally trying to catch up to the top 3, and I do not want the BMWs to have a 1, 2, 3. It felt like it was me and the German versus the M3s. As we managed to close the gap down to half a second now.
The Beamers have a 1, 2, and 3. Absolutely not.
Onto the Beamer in front, it is imperative that we try and stay with the field, drive consistently, hit our brake markers, and push forward in this race. This corner here, I want to ask you guys something. I keep getting some frame rate drop going around that corner, and it's the only time in GT that I actually get it. Do any of you guys experience the same issues? Does it happen to you, whether you're on PlayStation 5, PS4? Let me know down in the comments. Does it happen to you? Please let me know. I'm intrigued because it's really starting to grind my gears and it's starting to annoy me, because if you get in dirty air and you get the frame rate drop, you don't know if you're going to wash out wide and touch the rocks or even the barrier, or you've got a short shift and it ruins your momentum and top end going down the back straight, and it's so important here at the mountain. As you can briefly see there on the radar and ever so slightly in the rear view mirror, P5 is all over the back of us. He is basically pushing us around this section of the track, especially this downhill left-hander. This is possibly my weakest part of the track by far, and I lose the most time. As he gives us a little bump there out the corner, just to kind of say, come on, you need to hurry up. We need to get past at least P3 and go and chase after the top 2. This corner here is always important. This tight left hand, it's a heavy braking zone, can always make lunges up the inside if you time it right and your opponent doesn't defend it, of course. But also, you need to be able to get the traction out of the final corner to set yourself up for the start-finish straight. It is quite a long straight, and it does really dictate how you take Sector 1. Sector 1 here at the mountain, I think, is so important. It really sets up the lap time and it really sets up your lap. You've really got to chuck the car into the left, slight lift over that crest into turn 2, back on the power, lift off again to get the rotation, hit the curb on the left, and then back onto the power as we hit another long left-hander in the first tunnel section, I like to call this part of the track. Again, throughout the week, I've really struggled with that braking zone into the tunnel. I either go too deep or too early, costing me some time upon exit of the tunnel. So definitely some improvements to be made there. As we manage to close up to the back of Slippery now. See if we can get a run on him down this back straight, but also we have to be aware of P5 behind. He is only 3/10 away, and he's going to be well and truly in our slipstream down the long left-hander at the end of the back straight. As you can see, P5 got very close to us there, actually nearly giving us a slight little tap as he went slightly wide from the slipstream into that left-hander, which has given us a little bit of breathing room. But as we touch the barrier on the right-hand side there, that's going to cost us some time as well. And it's going to make us take a slightly different line into that right-hander as we try and keep with the top 3. As you can see, look, we're 3 laps into this race, nearly 4. And the leader's only 1.8 seconds up the road. This race just promotes such good, close racing. And if you get clean, respectful drivers and people with some actual racing IQ, no offense, you can have a really good fun race here. And luckily, I was in with people who had good racing IQ and they didn't rush. They didn't dive bomb people. They just kept going and they were working together and they were biding their time. Teamwork here around this track is so important. As you will see, we eke out a gap to the rest of the field. If you look in the top right-hand corner of your screen, you'll even see the gap is already grown. As P4 sends up the inside into turn 1, I think he's worked out that we're a little bit slow into that corner. And he is struck. He's seen the opportunity and he has gone for it and he made a clean overtake. He got slightly out of position into turn 2 and 3, which allowed us to close up, hence why you could hear the contact. But nothing too drastic. It was just racing, and there was no point fighting it, as it would only slow him down, and make us lose touch with the front of the pack. So now that I'm down into P5, I can really show you what I mean by teamwork working a treat at this track, with it being a long race for the cars that we're in. It's around 15 minutes or so. We have a 5 second gap, almost 6. Now it's basically a 6 second gap to the cars behind. The massive advantage this gives us is I can purely focus on the cars in front. I don't have to worry about behind me. I can focus on my braking point, my turning, when to change gear, the slipstream, working out where P4, P3, P2, even the leaders are weak. So I can, when it gets to the later stages of this race, we can strike and pounce and make up positions. We went slightly deep then into that long left-hander, but we've managed to correct the car, get the car to turn in, and we haven't lost too much time. As you can see now that P4 has been released, he's going to help us massively. He's going to drag us along, which is going to put me even closer to the top 3 guys. And as I said, me and the German right now, we are basically best friends. We are in the LFA. We are the outcasts, if you will, to the BMW gang. As we round off the final corner, we go to start lap 5 of this race already. This race does fly by. It does, especially when you're in a battle like this, and it's really intense. You have to be on your game. Like I say, 1 penalty and you're out. You're out of the fight for a win or a podium. But one thing I noticed during this race, my confidence grew with Sector 1. I started throwing the car on a bit earlier. I started carrying a bit more speed over the crest of the hill and into that left-hander there and running the car out to the right-hand side of that curb. And you'll see that we slowly start to make up time through Sector 1 as the confidence builds. We start trusting the racers around us.
Hey, Brad.
Again, we need to nail that left-hander. We need to get the drive and the exit. As you can see, we've fallen back from them ever so slightly. We're about a second outside now.
Deja vu.
the slipstream won't
Yes,
be as
sir.
effective as if we were closer. So we just need to just not worry about that, not panic, drive our lines, trust the process, trust we have the race pace to be able to catch back up to the top 4 and then fight at a later date. As you can see, the P4 tried to go around the outside of P3. It didn't quite work.
Just losing
But it
touch of
also
these
means
guys in
now
front
that
a little
P1 and
bit, but I'm
P2 are
hoping they're going to
also
start
battling, which is
fighting
going to
soon.
bring P3 and P4
We can
closer,
pick
but
up some
also
of the
bring me
pieces.
closer and bring back some of that time that we lost down that back straight. The gap is 1.3. Now it's 1.2, and it's going to slowly close as they start to battle. It'll bring me back into the picture, and it'll be one more car that the guys behind will have to worry about.
Daniel, mate, thank you for
Like I
gifting
said,
another sub.
we have no concerns about the car behind in P6. They are 8 seconds back. We only have to look forward, nailing our braking zones. As speaking of nailing braking zones, P3 goes a little bit wide. Might compromise themselves back onto the final straight, but it doesn't.
Oh,
There was a
mate.
bit of contact there
Thank you
between
so
P3
much,
and
Daniel,
Focus.
dude.
I looked like P3 was trying to go back underneath P4, but didn't quite get the rotation. But nevertheless,
Trophy hunting on F1.
the German has got past. So now we have an LFA up into the top 3. If the race was to end right now, I'd be happy. See, look at the time we gained through there again, look. Under a second now. 4 tenths. Less than half a second separate us between P3 and P4. Only 3 seconds between the top 5 drivers in this race. It's time to sit in behind the BMW, work out where its strengths and weaknesses are, and see where we can make a move to try and get up into that P4 position. Again, everyone takes slightly different lines, different driving styles. People like I say, I find the BMW understeers a little bit too much to me. It feels a bit heavier. Whereas the LFA, it's playful. There's a bit more oversteer. You have to be careful with the power. I like the challenge I like the thing with Gran Turismo that different cars suit different driving styles. Just because a car suits certain somebody doesn't mean it's going to suit you. Have a look up the inside now of P4 down into the back straight. Not quite close enough, but I was also very hesitant of going deep and running wide and hitting him. But also I've struggled there in the past with the braking zone in the Lexus. So that was in the back of my mind as well. This is also the first race of the day. So we are still getting warmed up. And what a way it is to warm up and to kick off the day of racing with an intense race like this. Coming around now down to the 3rd sector for the penultimate time. As you can see, P1 and P2 are battling. P1's gone defensive up on the inside. The Lexus cuts the curb. They're side by side going down into the start-finish straight, but I think the German's just going to hold it for now. But will P2 or even P3 get the drive in order to catch back up and make a move for the lead? This is when now we need to pull our finger out, start making some moves, put some pressure on P4. Either he makes a mistake or we pick up the pieces from P1 to 3 if they were to make a mistake as well. We go in, throw the car into the left, over the crust on the right, down the hill, into the left-hander. Cut the curb ever so slightly. Back onto the power we go. Ran a little bit wide. Going to have some dirt on our tyres. P1 and P2 are very close together. In fact, we all are. We are separated by 1.5 seconds. We've been racing for 12 minutes and there's only a 1.5 second gap between the top 5 cars. Again, as I keep saying, this combo creates really good close racing. And I do hope that PD do more of this in the future. Stay nice and tight on the left here. We got a really good drive out of that corner. We are only 3 tenths behind P4. So now it's just time to tuck into the slipstream and see what happens down into the left-hander, as this is where the dive bombs can happen and will happen.
What a guy.
Up into 6th gear we go now, looking for the curb on the right-hand side as we start to brake and to slow the car down. Shift down into 2 just to get the rotation. Short shift back up to 3. The Lexus has an insane drive out of that corner and is going to look to get between the 2 BMWs, if not past both of them. But he thinks better of it and sits back behind both of them as we head into the 3rd sector for the final time. Again, P3 having a really good drive around the outside of P2, but again thinks better of it. Tries to get the switch back into the left-hander. Will he get it done?
I think the Brit might get it. He's got a little bit of a gap. Where
He
will we
does not.
finish?
P1 has got a nice gap here, so it's safe to say that they're gonna win this race. We look to the inside, but P4 covers it off. We go to the outside. We're going to go the long way round now, but we've got a slight slide. Go, stay as tight as possible. There's contact made with P5. I back out of it to let him through. I didn't want to end the race on a sore note with a bit of contact. It was a very good race, and I will absolutely take P5 in this race. As you can see, he said thank you there as well. And that is the race,
that was an interesting
ladies and
first
gentlemen.
race.
Please let me know, one, if that was my fault with the contact on the last corner there between me and P4, and should I have let him through, or was I too nice? But as always, thank you for watching this video. I had so much fun racing this combo this week. Please let me know in the comments down below if it was my fault. Again, as I said, leave a comment, leave an emoji, leave a full stop, say I'm amazing, say you're amazing, do whatever, boost the engagement. But please like, subscribe, and welcome to a new path that this YouTube channel is going down. I will catch you guys in the next one, I'm very sure. Sadios.